podcast world, to another episode of Turn of the Millennials. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lindy.
And
And
today,
today on our episode, we have a very, very special guest today. You guys have heard her name several times over several episodes because she's in a ton of my stories. Please welcome my high school BFF, Catherine.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
It's about Britney. It's okay.
Right?
So, as Catherine just said, our topic for our episode today, because it's 20 years.
No, 20th anniversary, 2002.
20th anniversary of Britney Spears' movie, Crossroads.
The most amazing movie.
The most amazing movie.
It was so
great.
Good. So good.
Now, I didn't see it in theaters as many times as you ladies did, but I did see it in theaters because I had to. It was like the girl, like, road trip coming of age film. Like, they were always male at that time, so this was like our time, our film.
Yeah.
I was looking through my old stuff today. I was looking for the movie stubs for Crossroads because I know I still
have them.
Yeah, I thought I had them in my handbook, but they weren't in my handbook. So I looked. I have like this little box of all of my movie stubs from high school that I still have. But I opened it and they've all like faded really badly.
Oh, so you can't tell.
So, but I know I have them, and I have 4. We saw it 4 times.
Yeah. I saw it a few times with other people who wanted to go and see it.
Lindy's faces of like, scary. Cheating. She cheated on you, Lindy.
I got it on VHS and watched it.
It was probably busy.
And I think you were part of that. You were over at my house watching it. So.
Oh hell yeah! It came out on VHS. We immediately bought it. Obviously,
of course.
There it is. The original. And you know what? It's worse, even though Steph's cat peed on it.
Did he?
Ew.
I don't remember that at all.
You had a box of my movies when you were living with Frasier when we were working at Jepsi.
Okay.
And Chili fucking peed on the box of VHS. With like my NSYNC and my O-Town Live in New York and my Hanson Tulsa Tokyo in the middle of nowhere.
Gosh.
They all still work though.
Did you replace them? That's
No.
quality stuff.
They still work. We're good.
They all still work.
Goodness.
All right, so just a quick little overview of Crossroads. So it was released February 15th, 2002. It stars, as we're saying, Britney Spears, Taryn Manning, Zoe Saldana. It was written by Shonda Rhimes. It grossed $61.1 million. It received a lot of negative reviews, unfortunately. Poor Britney and the girls. But it was better than Mariah's Glitter. So that was
Everything
a positive.
was
Right? Everything. It had a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Meh. It was filmed during 6 months in 2001 down in Louisiana, Britney's hometown, while she was recording her 3rd album. It was originally titled What Friends Are For. And yeah, Justin Long called it the road trip buddy movie for girls.
I love that it was Justin Long's 4th movie.
4th movie? Oh, geez.
You know what's so funny is that do you remember Justin Long was in that movie Jeepers Creepers?
Yes.
Okay. And then he got Crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I watched Jeepers Creepers. I'm like, oh my gosh, were you ever this young and just like so adorable? And then I kind of remember, he was so pasty and everything in the Crossroads. You're like, oh, you're so cute and adorable.
And then Dodgeball.
Yes.
That was the one. Yeah.
Dodgeball was 04. Yeah, that was 2 years later.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Justin Long is absolutely adorable in this movie. And like, we'll get to it, but even though like he kind of was trying to gaslight her.
Right? I noticed that too.
Trying to guilt her into having sex. Like,
yeah.
It's true. But when she said no, he did accept it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things weren't being talked about then.
Yeah. We didn't have those agendas back then. It was also nominated for MTV Movie Awards and Teen Choice Awards. There were some Razzies, but I don't want to mention all of that. Britney Spears had recorded 4 original songs.
Did it win any of the MTV Awards? Did it win any of them?
It was just nominated. Unfortunately, it did not win. She only won Razzies. And like I said, I don't want to talk about those because too much negativity.
She was robbed.
Right? She was terribly robbed.
I agreed.
Terribly robbed.
She
Anyways,
recorded
continue.
four songs for the soundtrack, but they ended up being on her album, Overprotected, Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, which she uses so shamelessly as her poem throughout the movie. We all knew
Oh my
it.
god, when we went to go see it in theaters, I do remember there was like a couple of like 12 or 13-year-olds sitting behind us. So when he asked her to read him the poem and she started it, they all gasped. And me and Catherine turned around and we're like, yeah, we get it. It's her song. Shut up.
Don't ruin this for me.
Right? Don't ruin it. And then I also had I Love Rock and Roll and Boombastic Love. And then the soundtrack actually had 22 songs, including Madonna, Shania Twain, and NSYNC. Boombastic
Boombastic
Love?
was in the movie?
It was on her CD.
Yeah.
The Britney CD.
Yeah,
Britney
it was
CD.
on her Britney
Yeah.
CD, yeah, but I don't
It
recall.
wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, but was originally
But it's
recorded,
not
but they all ended up on her album.
Weird.
And then, of
Okay.
course, NSYNC Bye Bye Bye, because she was dating Justin Timberlake at the time. And
Yeah.
had to make those fun little
I
digs
love
as well.
I love that scene.
Yeah. So
Anytime I hear "Bye Bye Bye," that note where it's like "Bye Bye" that Zoe Saldana does, like that's what I think of when I hear that song.
Yeah.
I actually hear it a lot. It's played a lot on Chime.
Oh yeah, I hear Bye 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 all the time.
Yeah, I hear a lot
A
of
lot.
old school NSYNC and Britney and stuff on Chime a lot.
Good, because that's all I want to hear. I don't like today's music, so.
No, me neither. Hey, me neither.
That I guess that would also go for a millennial moment, that because when we were younger, Chime was adult contemporary of our older parents' music, and now we're at the old age that it's now being played on Chime all the time.
Like,
I mean, I don't listen to Chime a lot, but
neither.
I listen to Pop 2K on Sirius.
Yes, me too.
And that's where I have my jams. That's
Yeah.
where I need to be, because like I don't like a lot of today's music. Like there's not much I like.
I
Unless
absolutely
you're like
feel you.
Justin Bieber or something, I don't like what you're putting out.
I
So-
completely agree with you on that. Like, I fucking hate today's music. And when I had Sirius, I did listen to like the Y2K and like 90s on 9 and stuff a lot.
Pop Rocks is a good one as well. I like that one.
Yeah, Pop Rocks is good
But
too. Yeah.
am I like the only one that has realized that when I was a kid, actually I could use this as my millennial moment. As a kid, I hated the talking on the radio. I was just like, just get to a freaking song. Like, just get to the damn music. But now as an adult, I prefer the talking over the music.
Oh, really? I still hate it. I'm like, yeah, I get it. This happened. Put the song on. Okay? I don't care. If I want to hear talk to talk, I'll put on CNN. Put the song on. I don't care what somebody did. Like, I just want to hear the music. That's all. I see. I haven't changed.
Well, it's because like I've got a half an hour drive to and from work, and we always listen to Chime. And like sometimes they play like today's music, and some of it I can't fucking. What's that song by Main Skin?
Oh yeah, begging.
Beggin'? I fucking hate that song. It's like
all over Instagram. Do you ever watch Instagram Reels?
Maybe.
Not really. I'm not.
I don't know this song apparently, unless I might hear it on Instagram. But
this group is from Italy.
Okay.
And the lead singer has, well, first of all, do you remember, he has this like crazy rocker vibe, but he's really tall and lanky and stuff like that. And he has this really raspy voice, and he just kind of screams out the song. But people use it in their Instagram reel a lot, especially when they're doing showing like different outfits and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm an Instagram reel fan, so I'm Instagram obsessed. So
I have seen enough, so I'm pretty sure I've heard it. I just don't recognize it off the top of my head.
You'll know it if you hear it.
Yeah, you'll know it if you hear it. Like I've heard some of their other music, like just through the YouTube algorithm that we have, that the rabbit hole that goes down, and like they're good. Like I don't hate Main Skin. I hate that song, and apparently it's a cover.
Really? Okay, I kind of like the song. I haven't heard anything else from them, so we'll see if they even last.
But yeah, like I hear the beginning notes, and like I just get a chill down my spine, like just like how some people feel when they hear like someone eating and they can hear that their teeth hit the silverware. A lot of people cringe that sound.
I feel that way when I hear Goo Goo Dolls or Train. Or it's like, come on, again.
Or Theory of a Dead Man or Puddle of Mud, Nickelback.
Okay, Puddle of Mud, like that I Hate You song, that song's okay. But like, no, that's POD, isn't it? Wait, never mind. I'm over all
Puddle of Mud. Yeah, it's Puddle of Mud.
I'm over all of that.
Yeah.
But I have a millennial moment. Okay. I was scrolling Instagram. As I told you, I love Instagram. And Nick Carter posted a photo of his like 8-month-old daughter, and it's his third kid. And I was like, man, I'm old when Nick Carter has 3 kids and I have 2. Like that's where, and like I loved him before he was married, any of this nonsense, any of this drama in his life, House of Carters, everything. Like I feel old. And then I'm reading this article about Gen Z versus millennials, and I just like, millennials was the best.
Right? It really
generation.
was. And it's funny because I listened to country, and Florida Georgia Line did a song with Backstreet Boys, and in the video, they're with their wives, and you see the kids, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh God, I'm old. These guys, like, except they've got kids, and they're with these families they've been with forever, and I'm like, oh, yep, we're there.
I love that song though.
It's so good.
It's a good one.
I love Florida Georgia Line, so I love it.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Lindy has no idea.
I have nothing to say about Florida Georgia Line. I don't really listen to them.
Yep.
Lindy, get on board. We just did a song with Nelly. Come on.
She went metal, so she's not coming to country.
The metal side.
So it is actually one of the highest grossing films in Japan due to Britney Spears' popularity at the time.
Yeah, I read that.
See that. I could see that. She did really well overseas.
Really well.
Especially in Japan, yeah.
Definitely. It was Zoe Saldana's 5th movie.
Really?
There was
at that time. Wow.
Center Stage and Get Over It.
Center Stage.
Oh, and Drumline.
Oh, yes.
Drumline, I think, was after
Was
Crossroads.
it?
Yeah.
I think they were both released in 2002, so they might have been...
They might have, like, crossed over, but I'm pretty sure Drumline was released after.
Well, and I do remember Center Stage.
That was, like, 99.
I remember Center Stage, but not entirely.
Me and Danielle watched it all the time. I loved that movie. So she was on my radar from the start.
Yeah.
I wasn't so much into like the dancing movies. Like, for example, my VHS Crossroads that I watched yesterday, one of the previews on it was Save the Last Dance.
Yeah, I watched that one.
That one made me feel fucking old. The other two were Orange County and Clockstoppers.
That movie Save the Last Dance, though, was filmed in 99 and only came out in 2001. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Released it. And I don't know. That movie was okay, but it was a little sad. Yeah. When I'm watching a dance movie, I want to see happy and
like Step Up. I love the Step Up movie.
Yeah, like I don't want to see, like, it's just sad. It's a sad story.
Which is why Center Stage is so awesome. At the very end, they do their own ballet, and it's not to like cliche songs. It's to like Michael Jackson and Jamiroquai, and
Prince.
This is great.
Jamiroquai.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was like,
which is why I think Crossroads was nice too, because I liked Crossroads because it had, there was some sentimental parts in it, but it also had that sort of lightheartedness. So, and it's like we were the exact age she was when that movie came out. You know what I mean?
Like, there were so many girls that related to this movie through any 3 of their storylines.
Yeah.
Like whether you had issues with a parent, or like Zoe and her fat issues with her mom,
or just being the popular girl, the girl from the wrong side of the tracks, the pregnant girl, the
trailer crash, the virgin
goody two shoes,
the smart goody two shoes girl. Like whoever, it doesn't matter who you were. I think there was someone in this movie to identify with. And
I personally and I know Britney made this choice, I liked how they put her in that innocent girl's role instead of Zoe Saldana's role. I know that there was some they were going to switch them and make her more Zoe Saldana's, but I like that because Britney was like sort of over sexualized, and I think that's what she needed, was that sort of softening at that time versus the one who was kind of tough and sexy and this kind of stuff. So
they wanted more edgy.
Doing my research on this, one of the things that I came across in IMDb is that Britney's character Lucy was supposed to be more vulgar, a potty mouth, whatever, but she fought hard for it to be the opposite because she did not want to tarnish the reputation she had.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what was on the the IMDb trivia anyway, which I thought was, I don't know. But also, like, going in that direction, I noticed while watching it yesterday that her wardrobe changed. She progressed through the movie.
Yeah.
Like she became more open and more like comfortable in her own skin and everything. You saw her wardrobe change with the way she felt about herself, I guess.
Her personal style changed.
Like her first outfit when she shows up on that morning for the road trip, and she's wearing that yellow sweater with like the collar sticking out, with the flower like blouse she was wearing, the bucket
and
hat.
the little bucket hat, and the like white tennis shoes and stuff like that.
Like just
I mean, she just looks so girl next door.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Bucket hats.
Yeah, she's pretty adorable. Anytime she laughed or chuckled in the movie, I was just like, knowing what she went through, like what she had gone through over the last 13, 14 years, right, with her conservatorship. I loved hearing her laugh because she has an adorable laugh.
Right. Like, definitely watching the movie hindsight, for sure. You're like, oh, because now that we know what she's been through these last few years, what she went through during her career during that time. And then, of course, you see Jamie Lynn at the beginning now, and you're like, and then you hear her being like, I'm a Spears too. And you're like, you rode your sister's coattails. I'm sorry. You did.
Oh, yeah. I know. Jamie Lynn.
Let's just wait for that Oprah interview.
Pardon?
Let's just wait for that Oprah interview.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. I hope I'm able to watch it.
I think you guys need to follow Brit. Do you guys follow Britney on Instagram?
I do, yeah.
Have you been seeing her big posts about her going after what Jamie Lynn's been saying? Okay, good.
I actually just read one, like, as I was waiting for us to get on the Zoom call, I was going through it, and I saw one. I was reading one of her posts.
It's like, there's some family trauma there. You know who I want to hear about, though, is what's her feeling towards her brother?
Yeah. He's kind of been behind the scenes all along, and you don't really hear much about him.
Exactly. And I know she was close with his daughter.
Maybe he didn't ask for too much money. Like, you didn't really see him ride her coattails or anything as much, but
I know he worked behind the scenes on the business side. Okay. I remember thinking, this is ridiculous. He was the CEO of her global brand. I'm like, great. Somebody who has no experience in business I mean, I would have a better ability than he does, and I have no business working in business, right? Yeah. And I just never hear about him. Like, you hear about the dad and you hear about Jamie Lynn, but I really want to hear more about the brother and the mom a bit more.
Well, I did remember reading like something where she said like there was no one in her immediate family that did not benefit monetarily from her. Brother as well.
With that being said, though, if I had a brother who was as famous as Britney Spears, I'd be like, hello.
Yeah, like, employ me. I would want to earn my paycheck. I wouldn't want to her coattails like the rest of the family did.
Right, exactly.
I would still kind of expect like a little bit of favoritism by like giving me a job.
Exactly.
One that I'm qualified to do.
No.
Yeah. Do you remember the guy that she was engaged to when she started doing the Las Vegas residency, and he was managing her for a bit?
Yes, I just don't remember his name.
He was in the Criminal music video.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then they broke up their engagement. How much a part was he of how much was he a part of that conservatorship? What was going on there? If he was really truly in love with her, how come he didn't push for that? What's going on there? Whereas her new fiance, Sam Asghari, he's like, get these people away from me. She is an independent woman. She can do it. She's fine.
Yeah.
So what I would love to know. I mean, obviously it's none of my business, but I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be upset if that came out on the news and I had to learn about it.
If he was a pawn in kind of her family's.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Like, was he right? What did he? If he truly loved her, why wasn't he pushing for her to be healthy and move on?
Yeah,
because I understand why the conservatorship happened in 2007, but it should have only lasted for a year or two and had her build her way to independence.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I'm reading the amount of literature I've read on Britney's conservatorship and the way conservatorship laws work in general in California. A lot of people state that the conservatorship law in California really only stands to benefit the person in charge of that person, not the person that needs help. Like there was a lot of testimony saying like, I was in a conservatorship. Oh, it's doing that again. Crap. Okay. Anyway, but like the conservatorship laws in California stand like you benefit from being in conservatorship over someone. It doesn't really help the person that needs it.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about money because everybody gets a kickback from it except the person it's supposed to be helping.
And my husband made a comment. He goes, Britney Spears, I know you love her and stuff, but he goes, was it really worth it for her to be famous, for this to happen to her, all of this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, if you put it like that, no, of course it wasn't. I mean, it was a terrible situation she was in. And I mean, she's still kind of dealing with it. Probably not.
It was a downfall of a lot of different things, kind of like a domino effect. Like it just, everything.
But overall greed from the family too. Right?
Yeah, it boiled down to a point. I mean, because like look at all of the child stars that were exploited by their parents. Mm-hmm. Jackson 5 for starters.
Oh yeah.
Like, right there, or who was the other one?
Judy Garland and all of them back in the, like all of those MGM stars that were exploited through.
Yeah. If you see, like they were all so like young stars have been exploited forever, and it's
good example. Yeah.
It's only been in like the last 10 years or so that people are really starting to talk about it. Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, look what happened to them.
Yeah. Like, and Frankie Muniz, look what happened to him. And
being a child star is just not worth. Not everybody gets out of it alive, or
I think it depends on the parents' support system that are around them as well. If like the ones who seem to be okay and make a transition or make it out alive, are ones that maybe might have parents that are a little more supportive or not pushing them, being like, I don't want you to do this, but if it's going to make you happy, we'll do it. And as soon as you hate it, we're taking you out type thing. Or if they see red flags.
Lindsay Lohan and her mom.
Oh, yes. Forgot her.
The fuck happened with that one? Try to blame it all on Michael, but it was totally Dina too. Like,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But you know what? I have kids, and I like when my daughter was really young, she was the cutest baby. And I was like, oh, I'm going to put her in baby modeling and stuff. And then I thought, no, that's just for me. Like, yeah, she's cute, but does she want to go drive to Toronto and sit in a pretty frilly dress in front of strangers? No, that would be for me. So I decided never to do it. And I figured we only do things now if it's like, well, are you interested in doing this? Mm-hmm. Great. We'll see it through for the time we paid for it. Past that, you have to make your decision. Yeah. Like I think that's where parents were just more selfish. And I think there's a lot of parents who see this like Disney paycheck, and they have those open calls to Disney all the time. Bring your kid by, they'll be a Disney star. I would never want people to know my kid's face globally.
Because Aaron, like my fiance, I don't know, he was a child actor. He was in a ton of commercials. Like he was a stand-in and extra in movies and blah, blah. Like his brother was the stand-in Santa Claus for the kid Charlie. He was involved in all of that. And his mom dragged him to so many auditions and this, and he fucking hated it. Like, and it's just not worth it to put your kids through that for your own selfish reasons and needs. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that they had, and it was in good intentions at the time, but it just didn't end up being out of his best interest.
But I feel like the only reason your parents are probably going to put you into some kind of child or acting or entertaining of sort is mostly for their own greed, because they want some kind of money. And maybe they think it's for their best interest of maybe for their kids' college or something, but it ultimately comes down that they want the money for something. And some of them see it that it becomes, like I said, more and more of a payday.
I think most parents do it with good intentions, but there's like an overtone of selfishness there, mm-hmm. or an undertone, I should say, of selfishness when they do put their kids into those situations, unless the kid really, really, really wants it. Like, for example, I know where Jodie Sweetin, read her book, I listen to her podcast all the time, and like her mom, like she states how much her parents did not push her into this role.
She still had problems, remember?
And he still ended up with issues. Like I just read her book, and like I can't believe she survived what she went through.
And like, the Olsen twins, there's another perfect example. Look at the eating disorders and the bizarre marriage to that old guy. And
are they still married?
No,
but I guess divorced, I think.
Yes, but I guess he's a little nuts and controlling, and it's a bad situation. They
supported their family for how long?
Like, well, exactly. I mean, it worked out for the younger sister. Look at the actress she's in. She's been in those Marvel Avenger movies, and she's doing well. But I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
The Culk. Yes, there's another one. You know what? There's this whole world revolving around having laws. Like there's the Coogan law in the States, or Coogan law for children who are acting. But there's this whole revolt now of taking kids off the internet without their consent, and a kid cannot consent. Like if I said to my daughter, we're going to be in a video, let's make a funny dance, she'd be like, okay, that's not her consenting. She doesn't understand. She's 6.
She's
So
following
it's
along
about
with your
consent,
mom.
about like, family vlogs, Instagram, posting your kids and all that stuff for monetary gain.
Mhm.
And there's people who are actively trying to fight that, to try and get these kids off the internet. And
That's good.
I mean, the Coogan law protects them if it's a movie or a TV show, but what do you do when it's not that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
The only thing I respect about Britney is that she respects her son's choice not to be on her Instagram or things. Like, she will only share if she goes, they have allowed me, they've said it's okay for me to share this.
Yeah.
And all she'll say is, I'm just so proud of them. They're amazing young men. And she'll maybe show a picture of something they drew them or anything. But I appreciate that she is not one of those moms trying to get attention from her sons. That's one thing I do appreciate.
Kristen Bell's the same. Every time she posts them, she always puts like the emoji faces over her kids' faces. So it's just maybe the body.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
And Freddie Prinze Jr., they do the same thing.
Right, exactly. Like you can still pose with your kids, but you don't need their faces out there. Like
I think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds do it too.
I think so. A lot of them are
never
starting to do
see
it.
them. Well, we only saw them at the star, that when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
They were there, but I mean, you never see them, and that's how it should be. It's not about them. It's not about the kids. Ryan Reynolds in a movie, whatever, that's great, but
I don't remember which celebrities it is, but there's a handful of celebrities out there that are trying to create a law that tabloids are not allowed to print pictures of celebrities' kids for monetary gain. They have to be 18 or older in order to print anything, like
or have to blur out the face or something like that.
Yeah, like because the kids did not choose this lifestyle; they were born into it. And
I agree with that. I hope it gets passed.
Me too, absolutely. Yeah. I totally hope so. But Crossroads.
Okay, so back to the movie.
Yay, technology.
Melissa Joan
Back
Hart.
to the movie.
Yeah, was actually considered for the part of Mimi, and Madonna was supposed to be Britney's mom, but Kim Cattrall had it instead because I guess of scheduling conflicts or something.
Yeah, I saw that. Also, I saw that Brie Larson has a minor role. Did not see her. Could not find her.
Was she one of the kids?
No, I don't think so.
I think she's in the hallway.
Like she's not listed in. Like she may have been like an extra or something, but she's definitely not credited on IMDb. And I Google searched like a lot of things to try to find who she was, like what role she played, and the only thing I could find were pictures of her at the Crossroads premiere. That was it. Like I couldn't find who she was in this movie. I think she was just an extra in the school because she was like 13 or 14 at the time. Like she probably would have just been a student.
She was young. So when it comes to Kim Cattrall, people were up in arms because Britney Spears, you remember, she was saying, "Oh, I love Sex and the City. I love that show." And they're like, "Oh, you're 19. Why are you watching that?" And she begged Kim to be in the movie.
Yeah. I read that Kim Cattrall agreed to be in the movie because Britney Spears, she was curious about Britney. That's what I read.
Oh, see, and I read the other thing, but you know what? Either way, works for me.
They both had love for each other, so clearly that's why they wanted to do it together.
Kim Cattrall isn't as salty as we thought she was anyway, so.
Another thing about Kim Cattrall is that her her unsentimental portrayal and the fact that she left her daughter was very like unheard of at the time.
Yes. Well, I really need to mention, like, I think this movie undertones a lot of body autonomy because that situation right there, Britney says to Anson Mount's character, Ben, that her mother said that her father made her have her and that she was so Britney's mom had no choice over her own reproductive system.
Yeah, and they put her as like the non-nurturing mother.
Yeah, but how crushed was she? Like the second her mom opened the door and was like, "Can I help you?" You could see the look of like crushness in her eyes. Like her mom didn't even recognize her.
Yeah. How is there not some kind of connection that you didn't realize that this was me and your other daughter?
Unless she mentally completely just made a block in her brain about it. Maybe.
Well, how old in the movie? How old was Britney Spears' character when the mom would have left? I can't remember.
I think she said.
Okay, so like 3. If you think of Britney when she was 3, like we've seen pictures and how she looks now, I wouldn't recognize her.
I think there's tells, but I don't know. Like I'm not a biological mom, so I wouldn't be able to say. Like, would you be able to recognize your daughter from 3 and then meet her and then see her as 16 and then
Like, would
recognize
there
her.
not be a connection that you would instantly feel with this child, being like, whoa,
Yeah.
you know?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I love my kids, and I'm there
There's
for
a
them.
lot of parents. There's a lot of parents out there that shouldn't have been parents.
That is true.
This is true.
That's true.
Yeah, and
And
she just seems to be
one of them, and exactly,
Not
something
Britney.
it's not portrayed as well.
But
It's always the deadbeat dads that leave. It's never the mom that leaves. So this was also an interesting twist on,
Yes.
that whole storyline.
Oh, and Dan Aykroyd as her dad.
Yeah.
Who was shocked as ever to see Dan Aykroyd in a Britney Spears
Me
movie?
too.
I instantly thought, okay, what's happening to your career? I wasn't sure because I was like, aren't you a Ghostbuster?
Right? Right? And he actually created like a whole backstory that like his character was in the military and like this and that in the Navy, like
His friend drew the Navy tattoo that's on his arm in the movie.
yeah, like
It was so cute though.
right.
I mean, it really was. And yeah, I agree with you. She didn't want to have the baby and he really wanted to be a dad and stuff. But it was so sweet, and you watch him progress through the movie. And at the end, what happens at the end, I will get to that, I know, but it warms my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Especially like his progression throughout the movie, like especially at the end. Yeah, it's just I wrote it down. I was just like,
So
but like,
I
how
guess,
about that opening scene where she's dancing around her room in her underwear, singing into a brush? Like everybody fucking did. I don't know about you guys. I did it.
I did it. I'm sorry. I loved
we all
those.
did that. The boy shorts.
Yes, those were the best at that time. I loved those.
I remember American Eagle came out with a whole line, and I bought them all. It was
Senza did too.
Yeah, obsessed.
Obsessed with them. I loved them.
I even have a note like during the karaoke scene where I'm like, remember when it was considered cool to show the waistband of your boy panties like above your jeans?
It's coming. It'll come back,
jeans?
Lindy. The 90s are coming back.
That's
so
TLC.
TLC. It'll make its way back
It was
again.
very
cool. It's coming back. It was on the Victoria's Secret runway, so
there you go.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was so cute, and I thought that's so Britney.
I love the Uber 2000 fashion.
And just her bedroom and the way it was decorated, like the post.
That reminded me of Lindy's room.
Right? Like that
was
was
Lindy was 10 times that.
It's true. Like just the old stereo and all of her stuff. Like it's so 2000s teeny room, and I loved every moment of it.
Me too. And for those who don't know, Lindy's room was riddled with posters.
I don't think there was an ounce of wall space left.
Didn't we post some pictures of my room back then? Because I have pictures of it.
Yeah, I saw them. They're super cute.
I posted some. I know I posted some of my room back then, and it's literally like one wall is NSYNC, one wall is Hanson, one wall was Britney, like one was probably JTT at the time.
Speaking of which, Lindy and I both liked Justin Timberlake, but she would lie to me and tell me she liked plants so that we wouldn't fight. And then we had a full-blown fight when she finally admitted to me that she liked Justin Timberlake in high school.
I was conceding because I was a believer in Pose Over Bros. I conceded. I allowed you to have him. And remember, oh my gosh, I know I mentioned this in a previous episode, but do you remember how mad you were when you found out that Britney and Justin were dating, but you couldn't be mad at her because you still loved her so much? So
yeah, it was really hard for me because I was in my mind really like, when you're 17,
you're marrying them.
Justin.
I know. I was so upset. It actually really bothered me. And I know that like Lindy probably was like, you gotta pull it together. I was so upset. It took like 2 months for me to get over that.
Oh, our fights in high school were legendary though. Like there were times like we wouldn't talk for like weeks because of something so stupid. Like remember when I got mad at you because you wouldn't do my homework?
Terrible. Lindy.
Like, there was one time she said that she would do it for me, and then I guess like ran out of time or something, and then I got mad and I didn't talk to you for like a week.
I'm gonna say that's on you then.
Yeah, right? And you're the only reason I passed Latin at all. Like,
you're welcome.
Thank you. So that last final year of Latin, I'm pretty sure Magister Fontaine just passed me, so I wouldn't have to take Latin again.
Probably. I remember our projects together. Yeah.
You did like all the work.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I know. I can remember I would literally do your homework for you.
I was such a lazy student. I was a coaster for sure. Anyway, back to Crossroads.
Let's be real, Lindy.
digress.
I could definitely see that. Just based on the way that you like used to dress and like kind of everything. I'm like, I could see you being that slacker coaster through high school. That could be your
I was the boy of our group.
little bit.
Look, Catherine, I'm wearing pink.
Good for you. Good for you. Pink is still my favorite color. Just
It's
so
my
everyone
favorite color
knows.
now too.
I saw Britney in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Did you really?
Yeah, we went for my birthday, and it was amazing.
How close were you at her show?
Well, my husband wouldn't pay extra for the spots right in front.
Unacceptable.
So, which I was like, you know what? It was not that bad to meet her and everything. Like, I would have paid for it, but he wouldn't waste the money. We were like, so she had her main stage, and then we were probably like 30 rows up.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not too
So,
bad.
and it's only the stadium or the theater only held 5,000 people.
So it wasn't nosebleeds like the two that we went to.
No, you were close.
And like smoked into each other.
No, you were close. Like you could see her. You could like see what was going on. Like I didn't have to have my binoculars. Like I was close.
Oh, do you remember the Britney binoculars we had?
Yep. Oh my god, the memories.
How much do you regret not going to her third concert and choosing grad formal instead?
So much, because grad formal was kind of boring.
Wasn't it though?
And I was so angry because
I found my grad night champagne flute the other day.
Did you? I still have my dress.
I don't.
I didn't want to get rid of it. I really liked my dress, but that was it. And I was so angry because when we were walking in, it had a train and Tiffany stepped on it and it ripped. And I was so angry. And I sat the first hour at the prom like this.
I think I remember.
I mean, that just proves to you how childish we were back then, because like
I think back to the petty fights we had and the things we've done and shit we did. I'm just like, God, teenagers are just awful. It doesn't matter.
I know they are.
It doesn't matter what generation they are. Teenagers are awful.
Always awful.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So I guess maybe we should do a little synopsis on the movie, kind of maybe.
Yes.
You want me just to read the back of the VHS tape?
Alrighty, let's do it.
Starring superstar Britney Spears, Crossroads is an inspired, fun-filled adventure about taking risks, pursuing dreams, and making friendships that last. Watch Lucy and two childhood friends embark on a cross-country adventure that is sure to change their lives forever.
I agree with that synopsis.
Right? I do agree with that synopsis. It's a little short, but I could agree with it.
See the three of them hop in a car with a guy that's going to LA to pursue their dreams. Beyonce.
First off, the funny part is, because this kind of is funny since you guys haven't seen each other in a while, it starts the movie off as little 8-year-olds and they put this like treasure in the ground and they say they're not supposed to open it until grad night, which is 10 years later, so 18 years. Like, so don't say, basically you see 10 years later that they're not friends anymore. They've all kind of gone their separate ways and stuff like that, which, as is life, we get it. So they come to prom night, and then that's when they decide that Mimi tells them that she's going to California for some kind of singing contest.
She's gonna be a singer. Yeah.
Yes, she's gonna be a singer. And then if they want to go with her, they can. But they're like, no, we're not gonna go to California. That seems so weird.
Yeah, and she's getting a ride with this guy she knows, which turns out to be Anson Mount, who was playing at their prom. And Zoe Saldana was kind of smiling at him. Remember, she's like, "Oh, he's so
flirting.
cute."
He's so sexy.
But she's engaged to a guy that had graduated the year before, who's in LA for school.
College.
Yeah. I just want to make a point that Anson Mount was playing guitar for Bowling for Soup.
Yes, which is funny.
Funny.
And then Zoe Saldana also mentions he's a killer, or they said he was in jail.
I heard he was in jail for killing a guy or something.
Yeah, really killed a guy. But I found out something really interesting about Anson Mount. His full name is Anson Adams Mount the Fourth. Okay.
Oh,
His
really?
brother is Anson Adams Mount the Third. His dad is the second.
Huh.
No.
Huh.
His dad would have been junior.
They call 3 and 4.
His dad would have been senior, junior, the third, the fourth.
On Wikipedia, it says the second, not junior.
Oh, usually what it is it'll be like it'll start senior, junior, and then it'll be like the third because you're the third one.
The third, the fourth. But they're brothers. Normally, it's just like the firstborn son gets the next one. So, like technically, the third, his son would be the fourth.
So they have the same name, even though they're brothers.
Exactly the same name. One's the third and one's the fourth. Like, literally, do they call 3 and 4, get over here?
Right?
How do they call one Anson and one Adams? Like,
maybe?
I could find that super confusing.
Robert De Niro convinced him to take that part, though. He was like, I don't know if I want to do a Britney movie. And then Robert De Niro, convinced him.
Yeah. He also read lines with him.
However, Anson Mount didn't really do much. I mean, he was in that Skulls 2 movie.
He's now, he is Captain Christopher Pike in the new Star Trek series.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a quick IMDb search on. He never stopped working, but he did a lot of like independent films, not so much blockbusters and stuff.
Yeah, I could see that.
So they all hop into this car, right?
Yes.
And Brittany's gonna go meet her mom. So we tell that
Skylar,
to your fiance, and Taryn Manning's character Mimi is gonna go to this contest.
Brittany stops in Arizona, though. She wasn't going to go all the way to California. Her mom was in Arizona.
But she was gonna hitch a ride.
Hitch a ride with them.
I got to say, I need to mention, so from, I don't know where in Georgia they are, but from Georgia to LA is a day and 8 hours drive.
Dude,
so it's
I have a whole entire thing on this.
Yeah, and then when Aaron and I went to Alberta was a day and 11 hours, and it was 2,140 miles.
Okay, this is how I've broken it down, Lindy. I did the same thing as I was watching it. I was breaking it down based on where they were saying the signs are.
Like so many days for them to get to California.
Hold on. So they leave at 7 a.m. the day they go, and it's summertime. Though it's not winter, it's not like short days or whatever. And so from, say, Savannah, which is literally the edge of Georgia, the very edge of Georgia, to get to Columbus, which is the other side of Georgia, is 4 hours. To get to Butler, Alabama is 7 to 8 hours from Savannah, which is apparently where they stopped at nighttime to have dinner, even though it was dark as hell out. It should still be daylight out at dinner. And then to Natchez is Mississippi, because they stop in Mississippi. I think that's where they break down, is in Mississippi, was 10 to 11 hours.
Louisiana is where they break down. Yeah.
You know who was born in Mississippi?
Oh, that's next. Sorry, Leesville, Louisiana.
Lance
Bass.
Remember, he would say, "Am I crooked? I have back. Or I have back. I am." That's right.
I think our fest still works.
Or what?
Our fest.
Friend ESP. So to the edge of Louisiana, it should have only been 12 to 13 hours. And that was what, day 2, I think they were on?
But they had the car breakdown, remember?
Yeah, their car did break down for a full day.
And so no one brought any money.
Yeah.
This is true. And then it was 35 to 36 hours to Los Angeles. And then the route they took doesn't even make sense either. Where they stopped, because basically they were going like down this way. Like they started in Georgia, like they started here, they were going down this way and coming over when they could have just went across like this. They took the stupidest of routes.
To Arizona.
Yeah, they had to get Britney to Arizona.
It was the New Orleans. New Orleans makes no sense. Because New Orleans is actually at the coast of Louisiana. They sort of just went like this. So why did they go down, detour all the way down to New Orleans, which is probably like 4 hours out of their way, just to make some money to come back up and go out? Like, because if the car broke down, it wasn't like, why were they in New Orleans? It just all didn't make sense. That part didn't make sense to me.
They were in New Orleans and not just another place in Louisiana that looked like New Orleans.
And they definitely made it look like it was New Orleans.
They definitely did. But
I love when they break down in Louisiana, Kit is like, "Where the hell am I? Where am I?" And Brittany's like, "Louisiana." And like she's from Louisiana.
Right. This is not
I like that. That was so cute. I just like how nobody brought any money on this car trip.
Right? They had like $400 between the 4 of them.
The 4 of them.
They all had roughly around $100.
How did Anson Mount's character not have more if he's the one who's driving the car, who needs the gas? Like, how did he have not more money to at least help? I know it sucks, but still.
Yeah, like
I bet you he figured, though, he was driving these girls and they would chip in. And remember, he just killed the guy, so he didn't have much.
I love when they go to the grocery store to get food and they're playing that song, How I Could Just Kill a Man or whatever, and she's like, "Yo!" She runs into the store with them.
That was so cute.
He's so cute.
I do think that one was one of my favorite lines of the movie was like, he's like, when he asked them, he's like, "Y'all really thought that I killed someone?" They're like, "Well, yeah." He goes, "What the hell were you thinking getting in a car with a homicidal maniac?"
Right? And they're all just laughing, like, ha ha ha. It's like, really, guys, honestly, what were you thinking?
And I mean, now with today, what's going on in today, it really was pretty stupid.
Like, come on. They probably figured they were safe because there was 3 against 1. The 3 of them could take him, dude.
Well, I think Mimi knew him from the trailer park, right?
I think so.
Or
some friends.
She had family friends
Yeah,
that used to hang
and
out
they
with her.
vouched for him. And it turned out he wasn't a murderer. He had tried to save
saved his stepsister.
his stepsister something from being abused by his father, stepfather.
Yeah.
He took her
over state
Yeah,
lines.
as a minor. Yeah, so it all worked out.
Yeah, he spent 6 months in jail for saving his stepsister, which it just goes to show like the justice system back then was still fucked up as it is now.
Yeah, CAS doesn't do anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so they're stuck in Louisiana. They go and try to get some money.
They go to karaoke night.
And Mimi tries to sing because she's the one who wanted to be a singer, as we all heard. Like, that's the reason why she's going to Los Angeles. And then she gets up there and they're all making fun of her because she's a pregnant girl. Then she gets all scared, can't sing. So, of course, Britney takes over and does her amazing.
It's her movie, and she's a professional singer. So,
of course.
Yeah.
You can't not have her singing in the movie.
You can't not have them sing in their own movie.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, wow, you're a good singer.
Wow, you can really sing.
Right?
Yeah.
I loved Anson Mount's face, like when she was singing and stuff, and she starts really performing, and he's just like, "Where is this coming from?" And she's
Who is this
so
girl?
homely, shy, and quiet, and like reserved, kind of like daddy's little girl, kind of. And then she comes out on the stage, she's fucking sexy as all hell, over sexualized, and yeah, like I loved his face, I loved his reaction.
Do you know what we forgot about though? Remember before that night they had stopped in a hotel previous to that, and it was that dumpy motel. Remember? And she filmed part of her "I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman" video in there. Do you remember that?
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Part is in the background, and it remembers they were all just kind of disgusted by how gross it was. It was just so funny because Zoe Saldana's character was kind of like,
"I'm not staying in here, y'all."
I can't. I remember she sat on the bed, and it like,
well, I guess I'll take this bed.
Yeah, it collapsed. Like it was funny. But then so they're at this concert, and they end up making all this money so they can pay for the car and get to California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do need to make a note though, like something that I did notice. Remember when she's being harassed by that guy?
Yeah.
And Anson comes over and defends her. Okay, 1, I really think they should have written it that she saved herself. 2, I detest the next scene where Ben's character says, "I don't blame you for what happened tonight." Fuck you. You're going to put that on her. You're going to make her feel guilty for a guy pushing himself on her that you had to elbow in the face. Like that's where that victim blaming comes from, is media.
It's
like
such a different time though from back then.
Like we weren't talking about it then, but like looking at it in hindsight, it's like, fuck, like that is a really rude line.
Yes, absolutely.
And then Britney fucking later like apologizes, like, no, that wasn't your fault. Like you shouldn't have to apologize for that. And that guy put him in that situation.
And the other thing about him that bugged me was when he falls asleep in the car after that because he's been up all night, and then the girls take it, and then he's like, no, but then he freaks out because he's like, "It's my car," and then girls just took over my car. They've been taking over my car it's like, dude, calm down.
I get it though. I understand, and I found his freak out absolutely hilarious.
I love when he had his little temper tantrum
and he like hits the bushes.
I love though when Britney Spears was in that, and she had her cute little yellow shirt on and her tracksuit and her hair all messy. I thought she just looked so adorable there.
Yeah,
like just so casual and cute, and just I thought she was so sweet.
Absolutely, I think she's so cute in this movie.
My second favorite line happens during this scene where they're like, "This is stealing, you know." She's like, "It's not stealing when he's with you. No, it's kidnapping."
And I also liked when they say, "Kit and I voted and you lost."
Oh, they say it twice, and I fucking crack up every time. Like, it's so because like Catherine, didn't we use that line a lot?
Yes.
Like, after the fact, we're just like, yeah, well,
voted,
Catherine,
you lost.
Yeah.
We voted, you lost.
We used a lot of those lines. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we used it against Katie a lot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, why do I have to do it? Well, because Catherine and I voted and you lost.
Yes, I kind of remember that a lot. Poor Katie.
Poor Katie. She put up with so much.
So one thing I also, from that scene when they're driving around, that t-shirt, the Southern University t-shirt, I found an interesting little fun tidbit about this one, which was just kind of nice, especially in our current climate. Probably. So basically it is a predominantly African-American school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the reason for this was she wanted to, like, she picked it up at the thrift store, put it on her character because she's from Louisiana. But a lot of people were kind of, they were like, we were just glad that she was wearing it and brought representation to our school, even if she is a white girl wearing a t-shirt from a school of color. They're like, they brought like she brought notoriety, but like some stuff to our school, and we are appreciative for that because I think it says it's only like 17,000 students on the main campus, so it's just a little school.
Then I do need to ask. Let's rewind to the karaoke scene really quick. How much money did they actually win?
They didn't say,
because they had enough for the car, which was $350 plus labor.
A luxury hotel,
really nice hotel room, plus like the next 3 nights of hotel room service for the night that they got drunk.
Yeah,
like,
because they stayed up.
Tossing hundreds into there because I would never.
I think the highest bill, because he had it separated in 5 piles. To me, meaning 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s. Who puts a 50 in there?
I guess if you're drinking a lot,
right?
Yeah, I guess. But still, you got to wonder, it had to have been well over $1,000.
Well,
more than that.
Why not?
More than that, I have to assume.
For luxury hotels.
I always assumed they had $3,000 there.
Yeah, it had to have been quite a lot in order to afford all of that. But yeah, so we should talk about that drunken scene, that drunken night in the hotel room that night after karaoke, before they kidnap Ben in his car, where Kit finally tells them why she's pregnant.
Yeah, they all kind of open up with each other to kind of just get to know each other again, basically.
And I really feel Kit's story about being prettier than her mama was even worse than being fat. Ouch. Ouch.
You can't win, basically. She was never getting her mom's approval is what she was searching for, and she's never going to get it because
her mom's just too jealous of anything.
She's a narcissist. Definitely
her mom's got issues to work on from herself first.
Mm-hmm. And then the story with Mimi, how she tells him that she was sexually assaulted and all her entire story. You can kind of see Kit's character already putting the puzzle pieces together in that. You can already see her wheels turning, being like, that sounds familiar, because it ends up being Dylan, right?
Yeah.
It's just awful that happens. And I love that there was some representation of that in this movie, that where Mimi wasn't ashamed, or she was ashamed, but she shouldn't have been ashamed. And Kit and Lucy really comfort her in that.
I think that's indicative of, though, she was portrayed as this trailer park girl. And, the Dylan, he's this good looking athlete. He's got the beautiful girlfriend. He probably comes from money. Yeah, he probably comes from money. So, she's on the, as you would say, wrong side of the track. So who's going to believe what she's got going on? Right.
Yes,
I think that's, and so he took advantage of the situation, and which is not right at all, but that's how in his mind it was going. Kind of reminiscent to a lot of movies remember The Rage, Carrie 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And those really rich kids, and they had the girl from the wrong side of the tracks.
What's his face? Zachary Ty Bryan, wasn't it?
Perfect example, right?
Sugar and Spice.
I think so.
Yeah.
They got the girl,
Sugar
the
and
little.
Spice. Yes.
Her dad was like a gun seller or something, and she was kind of like a, wrong side of the track.
All these movies right around that time, right? All had that same type of idea. Girl from the wrong side of tracks, this rich guy who can get away with anything, and then it all falls apart on them.
And that's where I think media has to hold a lot of their own responsibility for things like that, because I think a girl from the wrong side of the track sees that because of the patriarchy that has been drilled into our minds since birth, that it was our fault. We shouldn't have been wearing that. We shouldn't have been there at that time. We shouldn't have said what we said. We shouldn't have looked the way we looked. When in actuality, it's always the perpetrator's fault. Always. 100%.
Always.
No is no, guys. No is no. Sorry, No Means No by Ricky Jay just popped into my head.
Which is a terrible song. Let's be real.
Can you hit it for a minute, girl?
No means no. Just for a minute, girl. No means no. Anyways. Terrible song. So they have the next night in Arizona where she tries to teach Kit to fight, and then she gets bit by something. And then when she tries to punch, she's like, ah. She goes way past where she's supposed to.
But it all worked out in the end because she did pick up something, as we'll
Right.
talk about later on, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. But
And then,
when fucking Mimi, she gets bit on the ass.
yeah, something bit me.
It could have been a snake.
Seemed like it worked out for her, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And then from there, she goes to meet her mom. And then, like, they stay overnight in Arizona, I guess, obviously, just to, which is funny. I'm surprised that they stayed overnight. Like, I guess they, maybe just to see if something would go wrong or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were just like, because you really don't know how someone's going to react in a situation like that, a long lost child's coming to see them and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I think they did have a thought that this could be a scenario. So we'll stay close by in town.
Until the
and you
morning.
give us a call if you need us, and we'll be here if it doesn't work out, kind of deal. Like,
yeah, because they're like, oh, we're not leaving. Because they say we're not leaving till the morning, and it's like, but if you really wanted to get to California faster, you would have left and dropped it. But yeah, the emotional support, which just shows that, you know, how much they're becoming friends again.
That's true, which is fantastic. So
right, her mom obviously says she didn't want her, tells her the whole story, so she goes back and upset. So then the next day they leave to go to California. Like, just although when she's in the bathroom, like, I'm surprised that she only opened up to him instead of like opening up with the girls as much. I just thought that was an interesting person to put in there.
Over the few days that they've been together, like, they've been getting closer. Like, you're spending 24 hours a day at this point. It's been like 3 days at this point. 72 hours straight you've spent with these people.
Yeah.
And I just think that they were at, like, especially the night before when they were camping and the two bonded over her poetry,
I guess,
or whatever. I think maybe she just needed someone different to talk to.
Maybe.
Which, can I just say, the poetry part, though, was really cringy for me.
Oh,
yes.
Me
too.
Always cringy.
I was just kind of like,
right?
Okay, because we all knew that video was out at the time, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it wasn't really read, like, as a poem, it doesn't work for me.
No, it doesn't work as a poem.
No.
Like, it didn't flow right. Like, poems don't need to rhyme, but it just didn't flow. No. It wasn't poetry. But yeah, no, that scene where she breaks down to Ben and tells her what her mother said and everything, like, such a powerful performance. Like, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I did have a thought about her performance in this movie, and then seeing her years later in How I Met Your Mother when she was under her conservatorship and she was forced to do that role. I'm sorry, like, her acting wasn't the greatest in How I Met Your Mother. And now I know why. Like, she didn't want to fucking be there. She didn't want to do it. She was forced to do it. Mm-hmm. But they make fun of her as an actress. They make fun of her performance and stuff. But, like, Crossroads was fantastic. Like,
I mean, I couldn't do that.
Pardon?
I couldn't just act like that. And then if you remember, do you remember she was on Will and Grace?
Don't think I remember that.
She was, do you remember when Jack had his talk show?
Just Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was brought on as the co-host who ended up taking over his show. And she had to talk with this really, like, Southern accent. And she was like a Republican, but she's not a Republican. Do you not remember that?
No. Did she play a different character, or was she herself?
No, different character.
With a different name. Okay. No,
I
don't think I remember that. I'll have to, like, maybe go, like, YouTube it or something, but I don't recall at the moment.
I thought she was pretty good in that too, because she had just had the first baby. It was in between the two.
So 5, 06, around there.
Roughly, because I think it was the last season before Will and Grace was canceled.
Okay.
You don't remember that at all? No, okay, you've got to watch it.
Because I
watch it, report back.
I remember I watched Will and Grace, so I don't remember.
Yeah, well, because we used to call each other after it every night, remember?
Yeah. And I remember calling you and having conversations with you that you have absolutely no recollection of the next day.
I don't recall that.
Sleep talk. We had a full-on conversation for an hour while we were watching NSYNC on David Letterman. And then the next day I asked you about it and you're like, we weren't on the phone last night. I'm like, yes, we fucking were. Full-on 1 hour conversation you completely forgot about. It happened a lot.
That.
Or the time you freaked out when I landed on your magazines after I smoked my face off your windowsill, our first sleepover. Get off my magazine!
As Lindy always says, she's clumsy, so just another clumsy
Lindy,
incident.
I remember that because you fell at all the, like, young and YM and teen and all that, and I was like, oh no, my
people
and everything. And she fell at it, and they almost ripped, and of course she split her lip open on my windows. Don't bleed on my magazines or my blankets. Oh man, that was so funny. Yes,
Memory.
I remember that.
Memory.
So I think at this point we get to California. And
They did that nice hotel by the beach, remember?
right, the nice hotel by the beach, which has got the like floor to ceiling windows or whatever, or something. Because you've got to have that when you're having a intimate sexual moment with Britney's first time.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that so funny. It's anyway.
They were so obvious when Kit and Mimi were like, "Hey, you guys want to go?" They're like, "No, I'm good here." He tosses her the car keys. And we're like, we know
I'm
what
tired.
you're doing.
I think I'm tired.
Yeah.
Aren't you tired?
We know exactly what's happening.
Right? Come on. And then they go to see. So Kit ends up taking Mimi to go see Dylan instead of going sightseeing because she wants to see Dylan, and he keeps like avoiding her because he's a douchebag, as we learn in this scene.
Dirty douche.
Yeah. So she gets there, and he's with another girl, and then she also learns that he's the
Dylan
one who
was the one
impregnated Mimi.
Yeah, forcing
And then
himself.
she uses her new self-defense skills.
That she learned the night, yeah,
Right.
Welcome
But
with the
unfortunately, Mimi falls down the stairs and loses the baby.
because she was so upset and
that
she
he
trips
did
over.
Yeah.
And he eventually decided to keep her
Yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
a girl.
Yep, because she had
Remember
put her toes. She says that when she was in the hospital, she had put her toes in the ocean and she felt a kick and decided she was going to keep her.
Yeah.
So sad.
And how they and the way they delivered the news to her, like she lost her baby, like she lost a set of keys. Like it was awful.
Yeah,
But the
she did.
scene with Kit and Mimi, how much guilt Kit was carrying
Yeah.
over all of that, even though like it wasn't her fault at all, but the two of them, like she felt so much responsibility for Kit losing her baby because of fucking douchebag.
She
Dylan.
dragged him there.
Yeah.
And Kit was or Mimi was so accepting and so forgiving. She's like, "It's not your fault." And
You didn't know
they're
he was the one. I didn't say it.
It makes me cry every time, and I love that. That's such a strong, powerful female scene.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the girl bond.
And then when Brittany calls her dad, like it seems like from the time when she calls her dad to him getting to the hospital is only like 2 or 3 hours, which I felt like seemed kind of a little weird.
A flight from Georgia to California would only be like 4 hours.
But you also have to you also have to see if you can get a flight early enough. Like you've also got to, like the schedules and stuff.
Depending on the schedule, maybe he lucked out and was able to get a flight right away.
Yeah, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, how often is it that you could get there in that short of amount of a time, guys? Like maybe the next day. Right? Especially after 9/11. It wasn't just
a lot longer to get through security.
Wasn't easy to just hop on a flight at that point.
But it's a movie. We'll give them a break, right?
Yeah, exactly. They always need something to put the storyline along. We get it.
I think it was probably filmed prior to that anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was released in 2002, right? Like it was released in...
I think in summer of 2001 it said, so it would have been just
before. And by the way, you know that Britney Spears donated $1 million to the people of 9/11.
Really?
Just to the families that, she donated $1 million. Plus, she was on the 9/11 song that made all that money to donate to all the families too. Do you remember that?
No, we talked about that in our 9/11 episode.
Or our Britney episode. We did one.
Or a Britney episode, maybe. But no, I don't remember. I don't recall hearing about her donating $1 million. But the song, yes. But no, that's awesome. That's amazing of her. Just shows how much.
But when she still had control of her money.
Yeah, that was.
Ben comes before Ben comes in with like music to her song, and then she does another performance singing, and then when she says she's not going to the audition, he gets all mad at her because he's like, we did this song, we were gonna do this plan, and now you're not gonna audition, you deserve this, and trying to, I guess,
he's upset that she's to her dad,
following her dad instead of following her what she's good at and possibly a new dream.
Yeah,
but she eventually figures it out.
True.
Yeah, and her dad supports her.
Yes, he ends up supporting her. He's a little upset at first to lose his daughter, but he supports her that this is what she wants to do.
I absolutely love the line in the cab where she's like, "Don't make me do what she did. Don't make me run. Just let me go.
Let me go. Don't make me run away."
You know? And he did. And performing in the end scene, like he's so proud of her. You can see it on his face how happy he is. It's fantastic. It's such a great parenting child scene.
And in that scene, those crazy bell sleeves.
I loved that outfit.
Right?
Loved it.
Who didn't want an outfit like that?
Who did? I love
everybody.
Everybody wanted those. But I was like, I loved her shirt at the end performance, and then the low rise, like the super wide pants at the bottom, like super low rise, like The choker, super
Classic
2000.
Britney 2001.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely. Oh my god, but yeah, so okay, talking about that performance, so it goes from the Not Yet a Girl or Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman song to Overprotected, right?
Yeah, because that's
But
the end credits song.
Overprotected, they changed her from her jeans to like a super short mini jean skirt.
Yes, I remember that.
Right. Sexualizing again? Like,
Because it's all about that at that point, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong, she's smoking. Like, she got
Yes.
killer legs and everything, but yeah, like there was no need for that.
No.
She could have left her in her jeans or both performances be in the jean skirt. Like, why did you change it? Like
Yeah.
fucking love that shirt. Oh my god.
I know. I'd still like. I would not be mad if that was in my wardrobe right now. Like just something similar with the long sleeves and stuff.
Right?
So cute. So cute.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely adorable. Yeah, so like right before the end scene, they rebury a box on the beach, and Kit puts in her engagement ring.
Yeah, because
Like,
it was. She says,
"Give that back."
"No, screw that. He
No,
cheated
not
on
after
you.
what he did.
No, he
I
raped
mean,
your
no.
friend and cheated on you.
I
Forget
would
that.
have pawned that in a heartbeat.
Me too.
Absolutely. Okay, I 100% agree. She absolutely had every right to keep it. She should have blah 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 blah. But had he not done that, and he just been a douchebag cheater or something like that, isn't it like by law that like if you're engaged, like certain states that the fiance has to give the ring back if the marriage never took place?
I don't think
I've never actually heard that.
the law. I know
Because
it'll happen in a lot of high societies because it's a family ring.
The ring signifies like a promise or like a verbal kind of contract.
Well, you have to get onto state law and take a look.
Yeah, because I know in certain states, like they will make you give the ring back. Maybe not in California because it happens too fucking often. They're like, fuck that. But,
No.
But yeah, like my last note here was knowing what I know now about Britney's life experiences leading up to like now this year or whatever. Like I definitely view all of her projects differently. Like I see how much she's sexualized in this movie.
I think it all, once we knew what was happening now more this year in the past 2 years, I think all of her choices early on make sense, and why she tried to the Kevin Federline and the reality show. I think it just makes sense that she was trying to get away from that and find somebody to support her who, but I mean, obviously it was the wrong decision. I think she was so desperate. She was calling for help and no one was helping her.
I think she was definitely trying. Like I think the biggest example of her cry for help would be her shaving her head and the umbrella incident with the paparazzi. Because like I think her shaving her head was the only thing that she had control over because people wouldn't stop touching her hair and stuff. So she was just like, fuck you, I'm shaving it off. That was her choice of her own control over her own body that she hasn't had in so long.
Not only a lot of girls in Hollywood when they're forced, because like if you notice, like anyone who's had to keep their hair long for a certain role, the minute they're done that role, they cut it because they had to be keeping it a certain way for so long. And like I said, it's that control. They didn't have control over it. So like
Miley Cyrus,
Kelly Cuoco, Hermione or Emma Watson, Hermione Granger. Yep. Like because they had to have it for so long, and they're like, I'm taking autonomy now, and they usually go freaking way short mostly, and that was kind of the same thing with her.
Did cut, or not Emma Stone. Who played Hermione Granger?
Emma Watson.
She cut her hair. Remember?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like and, it happens all the time.
Natalie Portman. I mean, I know she did it for a role, but she's kept it. She's cut it again before.
So did Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway shaved her head for the role in Les Mis.
Yep.
And she's short for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I have long hair. Okay. Yeah, Lindy too.
I go through phases. I'm usually on the shorter side.
I took off 10 inches back in the spring.
Wow.
I had COVID hair.
Oh.
/ pregnancy hair / and then I took off 10 inches and it's a pain. But I don't like short hair on me. I just don't think it looks right.
You've always been like long hair. Do you remember how mad you were when I cut my hair into a pixie cut?
I was so angry with you. I was so upset. And Katie loved it. She like oohed it on. I was so mad at her. Like, don't encourage her. Lindy, it'll grow back. You'll be fine.
But I think what if you remember before that, like maybe a month before that, you attempted to give me like black chunks in my hair. You had dyed your fingers black, like they were still black when I cut my hair. And you were like, look at this, I did it for nothing because you cut it off.
I know. I was so upset with you. I was so angry. I was like, what are you doing?
You were so mad.
Dial back to Crossroads. Remember when we went to see it the opening night?
Yes.
Okay. We were in OAC and I had a huge project due that day in economics. And my reward was to go to Britney after school. I had to present with Katie for something. And then I got to go see Britney. And we went to the like 3:30 show. Do you remember that?
I think we skipped last period in order to be like the first ones there and get the best
Good
seats.
enough. It's
That's
fine.
funny.
And
Fine.
there was like maybe 6 other people in the theater with us.
Well, it was right after school.
Yeah.
That's okay. And then I went and saw it once with Jenna. And she turned to me after, she's like, well, now we can do our road trip. Now we know how to get there. I'm like, you think that's how you get there? And we talked to her parents. They're like, we're not letting you guys drive across the U.S. for fun.
Do you remember when we were going to talk to your uncle in Boston to see if we could use his address so we could go on the Amazing Race? Do you remember that?
Kind of, yeah.
Because we had to be American citizens, and we were like, oh, we would so kill it on the Amazing Race.
I still think if I had it in me, I'm just so tired these days, but if I had it in me, I think I'd do pretty well.
I think so.
I look at these choices that people make, like, you're an idiot. I could have done that. Like,
you do well under pressure.
I do. That's just, I'm like a last minute kind of, I can pull it together.
All-nighters you fucking pulled in high school. And
yes.
16-year-old me and my thought process thought it was.
Tisk tisk. Catherine, I'm sorry for Lindy's laziness back in high school.
Okay, it's haunted me for my adulthood.
Look at Lindy, you caused trauma.
I think the way we met was an indication for how our friendship was gonna go, though.
Pardon? What did she say?
The way we met was an indication for how our relationship was gonna go.
Remember, how did we meet again?
In French class in the 9th grade,
right?
Grade 9, I fucking yelled at you because you wouldn't stop kicking my fucking chair. Like, you sat next to me and you kept putting your feet on the basket underneath my chair, and like, and it would vibrate my chair, and I'm like, fucking stop it. And like, we got in a huge argument or something like that. Like, we just did not get along at first, but then I think like our first sleepover was like the following weekend. We decided we were best friends like the next week.
I know, and we had a really good 5 years of fun. Yes. I mean, there were fights, but that was fun. I
enjoyed high school because of my friends.
Right.
Exactly. And I tell my husband, I say, you know, like, because we look at our 6-year-old and I say, when she's in high school, I don't want her world to revolve around going to parties and this and that. I want her to have a close group of friends. I hope they have some sort of boy band or something that they kind of join in on, or a sports thing or something
they bond about.
Bond, and that's who they spend their time with. I don't want it to be about these boys in school they're trying to go after. I mean, if it's a Bieber kind of person in the future, that's fine. But like, I don't want it to be. I want it to be more innocent. You know what I mean? And Lindy was always my like bad friend. You know what I mean? Like, she did.
I was the one that smoked. I was the one that drank. And out of like the 6 or 7 of us, like I was the only one that did any of that.
She was so naughty.
She wasn't even that naughty either, too. But that's hilarious.
I wasn't. Like, I really wasn't that naughty. It was. I did taboo things.
But yeah, at 16, smoking and drinking is kind of, you know, a little taboo to do. So yeah, it's so funny. You were the naughty kid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't influence.
It was funny, Lindy. It was hilarious. We all had
I wasn't a bad influence to you guys. Like, I never pressured you to do any of the things.
Absolutely not. You would just be like, "Do you want to try it?" I'm like, "No." Okay, cool. I'm gonna do it more for me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Although, like, I did try to make a point to like not have a smoke like before I walked into your house, because like not just yours, but like Tiffany's and Katie's and them too, because I didn't want your guys' parents smelling the cigarettes on me, because I didn't want them to think that I was not a good friend just because I smoked. Because like,
and that time you were a bad friend if you smoked.
Yeah. Like, I didn't want to be a bad influence on you.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Because our parents would have definitely thought that if you came in smelling like cigarettes.
Yeah.
However, if like my 16-year-old child, when she's 16, walks in with a friend who smells like smoke, I'm gonna think, oh, they're a bad influence on you. Like, I can't get that out of my mind. You know what I mean? Like,
but you also have to have the thought that maybe they would be a little bit like me and not pressure your daughter or son into smoking, and that's their own choice.
Right.
you would think so, but I'm still stuck in my old ways.
Old
You know
ways.
how I was raised. You know how I was raised.
Yeah, I know how you were raised. Like your mom cracked the whip pretty good.
And I do too. So there you go.
Right.
Apple doesn't fall far, does it?
No. Anyway,
All right.
I just.
We'll
Oh,
throw that
you know what? No, wasn't that the year? No, it was the year before that Britney was on the Super Bowl, right? With just the NSYNC.
Yeah,
And
like
yeah.
01.
Aerosmith, right?
Oh, one Aerosmith
Before,
and all of
then
that.
the year later was Crossroads, right?
Yes, that was an awesome
Yeah.
performance. I loved that Super Bowl
So,
performance.
One of the best.
So
good.
good.
So
One of the
good.
best. Yeah.
And I loved her outfit.
Yes,
Right.
it was so cute.
Like the football sock sleeve
Yes, it
thing.
was
and
so
the
Little
cute.
football crop top.
Jersey like crop top. Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything she wore was
Was
fucking
always
amazing.
adorable. We love
Like-
Britney. Everything.
There's a reason she's a fashion icon.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly. And I can't wait to see what her wedding dress looks like. Although when
Yes.
she got married to K-Fed, I loved her wedding dress.
I
Right?
don't think I know. I'd have to look it up again.
It was like short and stuff or whatever.
No, it was long.
Oh, was it?
And she had a long veil. And do you remember her and all her bridesmaids? She wore the white velour tracksuit, and they all wore the pink velour tracksuit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that of yours.
The brides
I
and the
did that.
whatever that.
I had the white one, and all the girls had the pink. That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was Britney. I had to be like Britney.
All right. Any
Oh, okay.
last Crossroads kind of tidbits?
I remember that. Her dress. Yeah, that was really pretty.
Yeah, I think
Even her short one. Like
Oh
even her
yeah, she
short one.
switched into after, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
with the wedding cake. That's the one I remember. Is the
Oh,
short
Oh
with the
yeah, but
wedding
she
cake.
had the long one. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
like the one she wore during the ceremony.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah,
Um,
no, I love Crossroads. It's such a good fucking. I watch Crossroads at least twice a year, at least
Right.
when my VCR is working.
It's a good girls' teen coming of age film. We had so many guys ones like
I am-
Superbad and all of that stuff. It was nice to get a girly one.
And it's not
Yeah.
your typical chick flick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, romance is involved, but it doesn't revolve around the main character. Like her world doesn't revolve around the guy. You
Yeah.
know, like this is a girlfriend movie.
Do
Yeah.
you guys know the YouTube star Jamie French?
I've heard that name.
She takes movies like Crossroads or Lizzie McGuire movies and stuff, and she kind of reviews them and goes through them all, but she inserts kind of like funny clips of herself be the characters and stuff like that. She
Okay.
did a Crossroads one.
That would be
Okay.
funny. I'll have to watch that.
Jamie French.
Jamie
Jamie
French.
French.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
She did she will add like she'll pretend she's a character or something like that, and she'll change sort of how it goes and stuff. It's funny.
That
So
sounds
if you have a chance, check that one out too. And
Okay.
she does it to all the like movies that like we would have loved. Like she did one to Lizzie McGuire and check out Britney on Will and Grace.
Yes.
I will. Write that down. Will and Grace. I will watch those. But
Okay.
yeah, overall, Crossroads, great fucking movie. 5 stars.
Yeah.
10
5 stars.
Amazing. I love
agree.
it. I
Don't
love
care
it.
about the bad reviews or the haters. It was a great movie and we love it. And we love
Yep.
you, Brittany.
10 out of 10.
That's right. Britney's amazing.
Right?
And
Absolutely.
she had a new perfume drop this week,
Ooh.
and she's making new music.
Yeah, I did hear about that. I heard about new
rumblings
music.
about whether
What'd you say?
I heard rumblings about whether or not she was actually going to be doing some new music. I was really hoping she would, but it hasn't
Word
been.
on the street is new music's coming, and the new perfume came out.
Yay! What's her new perfume called? Do you know?
I forget it, but it's an orange and yellow bottle. Looks same circle, but super cute. Like I'm good if it comes to Canada, I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
And hopefully new music. And I would really like her to do something like a Vegas residency again, so she has more normalcy
Yeah.
in
More
her life.
control.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
that was good, but I think she did too many shows a week. I think it
Yes.
should be like 2 shows a week, take the rest up the week off.
Well, what
Or
was
maybe
she
3,
doing?
like
Wasn't it,
Friday, Saturday,
10
Sunday
shows
or
a week?
something.
Yeah, I think she was doing like 4 to 5 shows a week.
Yeah, like she was just way overworked.
Right. I think
Like,
2 to
hence
3
the
shows a week would be, it's spread out so she gets a day off here between each of them, and
Yeah.
then she could still have some sort of normalcy. I would like to see that because then I'd be in Vegas so quick
Me too.
seeing
Right
it.
there with you.
Because
I
I
wanted to
tell
go
you
see
right now,
Backstreet Boys at Christmas. I wanted to see that one.
I was so sad I was pregnant and I couldn't go, and I was so disappointed because I really wanted to see them too. And I recommend it because they had the whole hotel was turned into Britney paraphernalia. And they had this whole store dedicated to Britney Spears stuff, which I bought a ton of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was just top notch. I hope they do something like that again.
Yeah.
Aw, if she ever does another Vegas residency, I would definitely like try
Road
to
trip
go.
it.
That would be fantastic.
Fly it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing it.
We
I
gotta
think
do
I'd
it.
rather fly because flying to Vegas is only like 4 hours or something.
It's not much. It's not much.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that expensive, the whole trip.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
at
'Cause
all.
I went for my dirty 30. I went with Monique. We went to Vegas for my dirty 30. It was kind of expensive. Way too.
I guess it
fucking
depends on how much, well, I mean, yeah, how much you spend and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
On water alone. Oh my God.
Oh, I know, so much. But worth it. If she comes back to Vegas, I'm there.
Me too.
Oh, me too. I think
Okay.
I would definitely try to make it. I'd probably drag Aaron along with me. Just be like, see, you need to see Britney live because she's quite the fucking performer.
Right.
She's amazing. I'll watch her anytime.
She's my queen.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
I'll
Agreed.
bow to her.
And on that note, ladies, thank you, Catherine, again for joining
Thank
us.
you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And it was nice to
being here,
see you
Catherine.
again after many
I
years.
miss you. I miss you guys. I
Miss
miss
you
those
too.
fun times.
I miss you so much. I miss our time.
I know. We'll have to once this settles down, we'll get back together.
Yep. And you're always
Absolutely.
welcome back
I am
on the
so down for
podcast
that.
as well. We welcome
Thanks.
everybody back. Always.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
if we do like a solely episode, I'm sure you'd probably be down for that.
Right.
I'm going to have to be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, do you remember that Jacob collage that Tiffany made me that went at the back of our locker?
Yes.
I still have it.
Do you know what I still have from her? The Dan Miller t-shirt she made us that one year for Christmas.
I still have my Jacob tank top.
See, I never wore it because I didn't want it to get wrecked.
I never wore mine either, but somehow it still ended up with a stain on it.
Oh, mine has never left the hanger I put it on when I got it. It's still hanging in my closet.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
So we need to do an O-Town one too.
It's I put
Okay.
it on it's on the list somewhere as well. I think I've had it in there as well.
So thank you so much for being with us today. We really
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
We
All right.
appreciate it. And yes,
Thank you. It was good.
and
Bye,
we love
ladies.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked it, be sure to check out our previous episodes on our website at www.millennialspod.com. And also, you can check them out on Spotify, Anchor, Google, or Apple Podcasts. While you're there, hit the follow and subscribe buttons so you can stay up to date on all of our latest episodes. Also, you can follow us on all of the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Turn of the Millennials Pod, and like us on Facebook to leave a comment and a review. We greatly appreciate it. We will see you next episode.